FI 2021-040 BZA, and is a variance to building setback requirement. Applicant is Holly Oak Chemical, Inc. Do we have,
We're here.
you're here? Well,
I'm sorry.
step on up and introduce yourself.
I'm James Cashin. I'm president of Holly Oak Chemical. And I brought with me Andy Shaw, who is the builder for our proposed project.
Okay.
We're just, excuse me for being so dumb, I just didn't know what I needed to furnish to, we're extending one of our warehouses. And that's what it is an extension. If you're familiar with Jones Street, three brown warehouses that face Jones Street, we tore the office off the front of one of them. It's about 5,000 square feet. And we just want to extend the one that's closest to the fence, 150 feet.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you would like to say?
Well, we had the building sitting on the lot out there for about 3 months. Need to put it up.
Okay.
We're just not sure what the delay is here on the appeals part. It may be something we've done wrong. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you. City staff, would you please present your report?
Yes, Madam Chair. This is FI 2022-040 BZA. The applicant and property owner being Holly Oak Chemical, Inc., and the property location being at 305 Jones Street. This is on one tax parcel ending in 100, approximately 3 acres, zoned I-1 industrial. So this is an industrial area south of downtown Fountain Inn, just south of these railroad tracks and very close to this present location here at 300 Wall Street. The existing land use here is Holly Oak Chemical, which has been here for some time and is industrial use, compliant with zoning, but the uses surrounding it vary from commercial to kind of rehab projects, mill projects, Main Street projects, etc. So this is a transitioning part of town, but this has been a business that's been in Fountain Inn for a very long time. This request is a variance from section 585 of the dimensional requirements of the industrial district from the South Carolina Board of Ordinances. The setbacks for industrial districts is our most intense and our most strict. Needs to be at least 25 feet away from adjacent properties and adjacent property lines. This property is obviously non-conforming, existing non-conforming, so it was built closer to the line when it was built. Our current standards have changed since then. If your structure keeps along that line, even if it's closer than is allowed under zoning, it's allowed to remain as such. But if it gets any closer to the line than it currently is now, then a variance is required to get as close to the property line as being requested today. So the original request was basically get to the 0 property line in order to get this building established towards West Jones Street in a vertical fashion to expand this warehouse. There's been a couple back and forth with that. Primarily, we have Jones Street improvements slated through the city of Fountain Inn with widening the sidewalks and improving the streetscapes on that road to connect our downtown to Emmanuel Sullivan Sports Complex. But primarily the situation has been, it's already close enough to the line. It's not really an incident under zoning law. But right now they are about 7 feet off of that line. Again, the standard is 25. They're about 7 feet off that line. It would have encroached even closer and into a sewer line that is established on the property. Included in your packet and in front of you today is an email correspondence that we received just today from our Public Works official that says they would like to be at least 12.5 feet off of that line. The ownership of that, the easements of that, that's not necessarily a matter before the Board of Zoning Appeals, but frankly, it's just a matter of procedure. We don't want to grant an approval for something to encroach up to 0 of the property line if there's a sewer line easement there and there's other concerns from our Public Works Director or other city departments and administrations regarding this expansion. So staff's report was pretty straightforward in saying that it's already non-conforming, it could expand even further. But given this email from the Public Works Director received today, I'd really at least like a condition of approval from the Public Works Director saying that he's okay with encroaching on that line or where the building is located, or tabling this agenda item to work these things out between our Public Works Director and the applicant to make sure that this building will not impact this sewer line in any way. Again, I normally remind you of the 4 criteria of state law and enacting a zoning variance. I think the matter here is just to work things out between Public Works and the applicant.
Okay. Do we have any board discussion? Oh, I'm sorry, sir, you have a question?
Could we, I don't know, tonight, could we grant approval based upon the Public Works being okay with it as far as zoning goes, as long as Public Works is fine with it, so that we're only left with that, Herb and the jump, is that a possibility?
That's at the discretion of the board,
Okay.
whether they want to grant a conditional approval or the table. I just think for the public transparency of the whole meeting, you know, it would be disingenuous to say you have Board of Zoning approval for this project, you have city approval for this project, when we have a memorandum from our Public Works Director saying that more things need to be worked out first. And that could impact even the layout of the project.
Have the applicants been provided this new information from the Public Works Director?
That was sent today, which is not ideal for either party. But the engineers were notified today. I'm not sure Mr. Cashin was notified, but the engineers of record were sent that information.
Okay. I'm sorry, back to board discussion.
I think it behooves us to table it for now because
Okay.
of the recommendations.
Did anyone like, she's recommending that we table it. Does anybody make a motion to do that? You first, sorry. Do I have a motion to table it? First and second, okay, sorry, procedure. I apologize, don't do this very often. All right, all in favor of tabling this right now until those issues can be discussed with the applicant and Public Works? Please raise your hand if you agree. All who oppose? All right. This has been tabled until we can have that worked out with the Public Works Director.
Will he get a hold of us?
He needs to.
I certainly hope so.
I do too.
Well, the board recommends that to Mr. Gordos to please let our Director of Public Works reach out to them so they can figure that out.
Thank
You're welcome. All right, any other order of business? We are adjourned. Merry Christmas. Oh,
you. When's your next meeting? Sorry.
we meet the 3rd Monday of every month.
Okay.
Third
Yes.
Monday is Martin Luther King Day. We can either meet the 2nd Monday or the 4th Monday, which is not too bad in terms of January. I believe it's the 23rd.
Okay. Good.
But hopefully you have enough time to get that worked out.
Well, we're off the record here and everything else, but the way business is running right now, we're essentially 6 months behind